Investigators are saying that the Lion Air Boeing 737 MAX jet that crashed in Indonesia last month should not have been in the air because of a series of equipment problems. They question the airline's maintenance and safety procedures and the pilot's response in the air. A report issued overnight shows a horrifying struggle to control the plane before the crash that killed all 189 passengers and crew. In its final moments, the captain reportedly asked to be cleared to 5,000 feet and reported a flight control problem.
Now, there are about 250 of these 737 MAX jets that are in service around the world. 3 U.S. carriers, Southwest, American, and United, operate almost 50 of them. Now, Boeing has orders pending for nearly 5,000 more. Chris Van Cleve is at Reagan National Airport outside Washington. Chris, good morning.
Good morning. A seasoned investigator will tell you it is never one single thing that results in an accident like this. It is a combination of factors that lead to tragedy. And this report shows us that investigators are focusing in on at least 3 things: the maintenance of the airplane, the pilot's actions as they tried to understand what was happening, and this safety system that Boeing added to the 737 MAX that was supposed to prevent an accident.
There we go.
It took retired airline captain Ross Amer just seconds in a 737 simulator to execute the steps that could have saved Lion Air Flight 610.
I have the aircraft under control.
Steps those pilots should have known to do, but didn't.
If they had immediately followed the procedure without hesitation, turned off the cutoff switches, this may not have happened.
Within seconds of taking off, the pilots were locked in a battle for control of the brand new 737 MAX 8. According to the plane's flight data recorder, a new anti-stall system known as MCAS automatically pushed the plane's nose down more than 24 times during the 11-minute flight before the pilots lost control.
They were clearly on edge. They didn't know what was going on.
Aeronautical engineer Peter Lemmy studied this newly released flight data.
Why the crew would sit there, over 20 times and fight it, rather than disabling it, is a question, we would all like to know.
Investigators believe a faulty sensor that had failed on 3 previous flights triggered MCAS. It was replaced, but failed again.
It should have been fixed before it left again.
It appears the crew on the previous flight deactivated MCAS after the sensor failed using the same protocols Amer showed us. Boeing added MCAS to the MAX, but did not specifically highlight it in pilot manuals.
They decided, well, this was not important enough to know, and it turns out it was very important.
Boeing says the pilot's response should have been the same in a 737 with MCAS or without it, so they didn't necessarily need to know about this anti-stall system to prevent a crash. Indonesian investigators say they have not found the cockpit voice recorders, and that could be critical to understanding what was happening in the cockpit between the pilots.
Good point, Chris. Thank you so much.